Tom Bower, the legendary royal author, is sharpening his quill for a new edition of his book set to reveal huge secrets inside Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's marriage.
I think when I was 30, if I thought about 50, I thought that is an awful long way away. And I don't really need to think about it. And then I blinked and I'm 50. That's crazy.
Not a surprise here because, yeah, she lies a lot about her stuff. We've caught her in so many lies. Her own sister has come forward, her family, everybody is exposing the lies that she's been telling.
Tom Bower just dropped a bombshell that has Meghan Markle's legal team scrambling like never before. This isn't gossip for clicks. This is high-stakes, investigative reporting from one of the sharpest royal biographers out there. For over 20 years, Bower has publicly questioned whether the Duchess of Sussex has been bending the truth about her age. And now the receipts are jaw-dropping. The evidence he dug up? Absolutely brutal.
Well, that's her first wedding in Jamaica. That's one of my favorite pictures.
We're talking magazine archives, university records, family testimonies, interviews, an entire trail of what looks like deception that's so intricate it could make Hollywood producers sweat. And it's not just casual speculation. Bower has pieced together a pattern so detailed and so consistent that it reads like a script for a scandalous drama, only it's real life. Here's why this is different from any other Meghan controversy. This time, there are official documents, actual verifiable paperwork that can't be spun, edited, or disputed. Meghan, sources say, is reportedly furious. And honestly, who wouldn't be if decades of carefully curated public image were suddenly under this kind of microscope?
They've stupidly put out so many dumb lies, the car chase, etc., that now nobody believes anything they say. And that's scary and dangerous because it sometimes puts us off in directions that we need to be better about. But man, the more and more I look at and research this stuff, I'm not obsessed with these two. I'm looking at them with a very clear eye.
Before we jump straight into the age controversy, you've got to understand who Tom Bower really is. This isn't some tabloid hack looking for quick clicks. Bower is Britain's top investigative biographer, respected for exposing the skeletons of powerful figures. He's taken down Robert Maxwell, Mohammed Al-Fayed, Simon Cowell, and even Prince Charles in his hard-hitting books. Bower doesn't rush things. His books are a product of years, sometimes decades, of interviews, cross-checking, and fact verification. In 2022, he released Revenge, Meghan, Harry, and the War Between the Windsors, a book that hit like a thunderbolt.
There are so many telltale signs that something is clearly wrong with Meghan. And I don't mean it in a bad way, but I mean, how can you get your age so wrong? Did you know that in 1997, when she met Yasmin Bleeth, when she claims that she was working for Humphrey Yogurt, age 13, she also, or somebody with the name Meghan Markle, filled out a questionnaire for Sears, the company, claiming that she was 21 years of age.
It painted Meghan as calculating, ambitious, and sometimes ruthless in her climb through society, and it left readers shocked by the level of detail Bower uncovered. But one chapter stole the spotlight, Meghan's early life and Hollywood years. Bower's timeline analysis sent shockwaves. Meghan claims she was born on August 4th, 1981, making her 44 today. But Bower's research suggests otherwise. She could be anywhere from 48 to 52. That's not a small slip-up. That's a full-on biography rewrite. When these findings hit the public, Meghan's team reportedly went into overdrive, trying to control the fallout. Now let's talk smoking guns.
What the hell is going on with this woman? Is she adopted or is she just a natural? I mean, is she such a liar she can't even understand that we can all see her?
March 1997, 17 magazine, page 90. There's a feature listing Meghan Markle as 21 years old. Wait a minute. If she was really born in 1981, she would have been 15 or 16 at that time. That's a 6-year gap. Massive, glaring, impossible to ignore. Bower didn't just find the article online and tweet about it. No, he hit the archives, verified the date, and confirmed the publication. This is authentic. So either the magazine made a wild mistake about a relatively unknown actress, or someone's been bending the truth for a long time. And it doesn't stop there.
Is Megsy really lying about her age? Now, when you Google her, it says that she was born on the 4th of August, 1981. And with today being her birthday, as of me recording this video, it's saying that she's 44 years old.
Bower also uncovered Meghan's IMDb page originally listed her birth year as 1977. That's right, 1977, not 1981. In Hollywood, age is everything when you're auditioning for roles, and if you're slightly older, doors can close. So it seems Meghan quietly shaved off a few years to stay competitive, but Bauer caught it. He has the screenshots to prove it. Even her university records come into play. Northwestern University, her alma mater, shows she graduated in 2003 with a degree in theater and international studies at age 22.
I believe she had a clear motive for writing family off because it would seemingly justify and perhaps delay the revelation of all of the lies that she had told the royal family.
Everything on paper lines up perfectly, except there's a huge problem brewing. Tom Bauer didn't just stop at documents, he went straight to the source. He tracked down Meghan's classmates, dug through alumni directories, and studied every group photo he could find from her Northwestern days. And what he discovered is wild. Most of Meghan's classmates from that time are now in their early to mid-50s, not early 40s like she claims. That's a massive red flag. There's one photo that really stands out, a famous snapshot from Northwestern's salsa club.
So what is going on here? Why the secrecy around this woman's birth certificate? Why the secrecy? Why the mistakes in age that are so blatant for others? And you know what? This is like her education in university, that she claims that she double major in international relations and theater, when Northwestern has never given a major in international relations.
Meghan is in the back row, smiling, surrounded by about a dozen students. Bauer reached out to several people in that photo, asking when they were born. The answer? Almost all said early 1970s. That's huge. Either Meghan was a 20-year-old partying with people a decade older, or she's been keeping her real age under wraps for decades. One anonymous former classmate even told Bauer, "We all knew Meghan was older than she claimed. It was kind of an open secret back then, but nobody really cared. Until now."
But before she met Harry, you had no doubt she was your sister.
My little sister, though. I said my little sis.
I would have loved to have had siblings. That's why I'm so excited to be pregnant, so that Archie has someone.
Because if Meghan lied about her age in college, what else could be false in her carefully curated public image? The layers of deception start stacking up fast. Then it gets even stranger. Thomas Markle, Meghan's father, has done countless interviews since she married Prince Harry, talking about everything from her childhood to family drama. But when asked directly about Meghan's birth year, he goes completely quiet. No answer, just silence. Bauer personally interviewed Thomas Markle for his book, and when he pressed, "What year was Meghan born?" Thomas paused, then said something shocking. "You should check the records yourself."
When she was 12 years of age. So there is something that is not connecting. There is something that is not right. And I haven't been able to get a hold of a birth certificate, of a copy of her birth certificate. So if any of you can get it for me, please do so. So I started getting some emails from some of the subscribers, and they said, what if Meghan Markle was adopted? What if there more to her birth than just her age? Could it be that she doesn't know her own age because she's been lied to by her father and mother? Could it be that's why Doria doesn't have a bond with Meghan Markle? Because what mother leaves her daughter when she's 3 or 4 years? Okay, maybe she went to jail. Those are the rumors.
Not 1981, not August 4th, 1981. Just check the records. Think about that. Why would a father hesitate on his own daughter's birth year unless the official story isn't accurate? It doesn't stop there. Bauer also spoke with Samantha Markle, Meghan's half-sister, who was born in 1964. According to Meghan, there's a 17-year gap between them. But Samantha said the gap is much smaller. "We were closer in age growing up than people realize," she told Bauer. If Meghan was really born in 1981, Samantha would have been a teenager when Meghan was born. But if Meghan was born between 1973 and 1975...
There's nothing original here.
I hope you're having the best birthday you've ever had. Thank you for everything.
Which is really such a fake. When she was younger... Hi, Nanny. I'm English award. 100% a bully brat.
That gap shrinks to 9 to 11 years. Suddenly, it makes sense why Samantha remembers having a younger sister she could actually play with. And now Meghan's acting career raises more eyebrows. If she was born in 1981, she would have been 25 when she held those briefcases on Deal or No Deal in 2006. Perfectly believable for that kind of work. But Bauer dug deeper into her early acting years, and the picture doesn't match a 20-something struggling actress. In the early 2000s, Meghan was hustling non-stop. auditioning for every small role, bit part, or background gig she could find.
I thought, what is she not contextually aware of? She's trying to hide something. This is really sloppy.
That kind of career struggle reads more like someone older, someone fighting to catch up after years of experience, not a fresh-faced 20-something just starting out. She started out landing tiny roles in shows most people have already forgotten. Commercial gigs, small bit parts, she scraped by, hustling for every opportunity. That's normal for aspiring actresses, right? But here's the kicker. Hollywood has strict age cutoffs. If you're over 30 and unknown, casting directors automatically push you into mom or older sister roles. They don't even consider you for leading or ingenue parts. Meghan's early career trajectory screams someone who was aging out of the system, scrambling desperately to stay relevant. She didn't snag suits until 2011. Now, if she was 30, she was already on the older side for Rachel Zane.
So I have to ask, is this woman crazy? Is she that much of a liar, or is there something deeper? Because just to give you another example, she claims that she was 13 years of age when she started to work for Humphrey Yogurt, in spite of the fact that Humphrey Yogurt has said that they have never employed anybody at age 13. Number two, she claims that when she started working at Humphrey Yogurt, she ran into Yasmin Bleeth, and that she congratulated Yasmin Bleeth for her deodorant commercial. Yasmin Bleeth didn't do that deodorant commercial until 1997.
But if she was actually 36, as Bauer's research suggests, she should have been far too old to play that role at all. That's a huge red flag. And according to Bauer, this isn't a coincidence. It points to deliberate misrepresentation of her age. Fast forward to May 2019, when Archie was born. His birth certificate was filed officially, the usual stuff. Mother's name, Rachel Meghan Markle. Simple, permanent, official. But just weeks later, the certificate was amended. Meghan's first and middle names were completely removed, leaving only Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. What? That's an insanely rare move.
Well, look, Radar Online, in fairness, they do quote you and say Royal author Lady Colin Campbell recently challenged the conspiracy of silence and misinformation surrounding both Tom.
Tom Bauer dug deep into this, and what he found is shocking. Royal birth certificates almost never get altered like this. Palace insiders told Bauer they couldn't remember a single case like it. So why would Meghan do it? Bauer's theory is chilling. She's terrified of leaving paper trails tied to her legal name. Rachel Meghan Markle appears on official documents. Anything tied to that name, school transcripts, past marriages, passport applications, could be cross-checked and scrutinized. If anyone looked closely, discrepancies in birth years could emerge. So she scrubbed her legal name, making herself nearly impossible to trace. And according to Bauer, that's not the action of someone with nothing to hide. This isn't a normal move. This is a deliberate step to control the narrative and avoid scrutiny, and it adds another layer to the age controversy.
That's the thing about Meghan. She's a very, very deceitful person.
So how did Meghan react when Bauer's book hit the shelves? Sources say she was absolutely livid. Her lawyers went into overdrive, sending legal threats to the publisher, demanding retractions, calling the age claims baseless and defamatory. But here's the problem. Bauer had receipts, magazine archives, university records, eyewitness testimonies. He wasn't bluffing. Legal threats alone couldn't erase the evidence. So what did Meghan do? She went silent. No press conference, no public statements, no new birth certificate released, just total silence.
I choose people who don't want to be written about on the whole, whose lives are shrouded in mystery, and they want to hide their secrets. And I just love digging away to find out what they don't want to.
And according to Bauer, that silence speaks louder than any statement ever could. Think about it. If your timeline was airtight, wouldn't you prove everyone wrong, release the records, end the speculation once and for all? But Meghan won't. According to sources speaking to Bauer, she can't. Because the truth, whatever it is, doesn't match the official story she's been telling for years. That's the scandal, plain and simple. But here's where things get really messy. Tom Bauer didn't just stop at early career and university records. He started tracing Meghan's entire timeline through Hollywood, family, and public appearances, and the discrepancies are stacking up like dominoes. Every interview, every magazine feature, every casting notice was analyzed, and patterns started to emerge.
Today felt like the perfect day to address a theory that many people out there have been speculating on, that Meghan Markle has lied about her age. Is she actually older?
Patterns that make you stop and wonder how much of Meghan's carefully crafted image is real, and how much has been polished, edited, or flat out rewritten over the years. Take her Hollywood rise to fame. According to Bauer's research, Meghan's early acting career shows an unusual struggle that doesn't fit the profile of someone in their early 20s. Auditions, minor roles, commercial work, background appearances. She hustled hard, but the timeline, when you match it against her claimed age, feels off. The intensity, the desperation, the push to land roles at a stage when most young actors are still considered fresh talent. Something doesn't add up.
Are you telling me that that commercial, which was so pivotal for Meghan Markle, she didn't even bother to watch so she can recount the story and say when I was 12 rather than when I was 11? Because the commercial is out in the public domain, and I will leave the link for you guys to go watch it. It was done when she was 12 years of age. So there is something that is not connecting.
Then there's the public persona she carefully crafted, poised, polished, always in control, always just the right age for every interview or public event. But Bauer points out that public image doesn't erase reality. The receipts, official records, magazine archives, eyewitness accounts tell a very different story. People start connecting dots, and suddenly what once seemed like minor inconsistencies start looking like calculated deception. Even her social media posts and early interviews raise questions. Bauer cross-referenced old photographs, yearbooks, and appearances on talk shows.
I think the palace and the machinery of the monarchy needs to take Harry and Meghan more seriously and make sure that Harry and Meghan's antics don't impact the future.
In several cases, Meghan looks older than her claimed age, more mature, more worldly than what would be expected from someone in their early 20s. And when you compare those to photos of her peers, classmates, and co-stars, the contrast is striking. Family testimony adds even more intrigue. Bauer's interviews with Samantha Markle and the quiet hints from Thomas Markle point to a story Meghan has been controlling for decades. Samantha recalled moments from childhood that suggest Meghan was closer in age to her than publicly claimed. Thomas's reluctance to even confirm a birth year raises eyebrows. If your daughter's age is an open secret in your family, why hesitate unless the story told to the public isn't accurate? And here's a twist that nobody outside the palace could have guessed.
She's absolutely ruthless.
This is Meghan's first trip to the snow. Dad took her up to Big Ben.
When Archie's birth certificate was altered to remove her legal name, it wasn't just an administrative change. It was a strategic move to erase a trail that could expose inconsistencies. Bauer explains that it's almost unheard of in royal records, and palace insiders were reportedly baffled. Altering official documents to protect one's image, that's calculated, deliberate, and extremely rare. Bauer also discovered subtle signs in the public record that suggest age manipulation continued even after Meghan married Harry.
Meghan is a consummate survival actress. You raise this extraordinary beginning of the year when she carved 2025 in the sand. And it's a very, very interesting image that it came out on New Year's Day this year, because the previous weeks had been absolutely turgid and torrid for her. She had been dubbed Duchess difficult again. There have been allegations of bullying.
Tyrant in high heels.
Casting announcements, interviews, early royal appearances, and even timelines of charitable engagements sometimes conflicted with official age statements. When pieced together, the discrepancies form a web of contradictions that raise serious questions about the accuracy of her official biography. And let's not forget the reaction from the palace and Meghan's team. According to sources speaking to Bauer, the backlash to revenge, Meghan, Harry, and the war between the Windsors was immediate and intense. Legal threats, demands for retraction, furious calls to publishers. Bauer's findings hit a nerve, but despite the noise, the records, screenshots, and testimony remain unchallenged. And as Bauer points out, the silence from Meghan herself is deafening. The pattern Bauer uncovers is clear: age discrepancies, document scrubbing, selective storytelling, and public silence when confronted.
I just made a little mark on my board and said, oh, there's another lie. Click.
Whether intentional or not, it paints a picture of someone carefully managing their image, aware that the truth might not match the official narrative. And when the dust settles, the biggest question remains. If the timeline around Meghan's age is this messy, what else might be hiding in plain sight? Bauer's investigation doesn't just hint at controversy. It exposes a long, detailed, and meticulously documented trail of inconsistencies that are almost impossible to ignore. Each fact, each document, each witness account adds another layer to the puzzle. And as the public digests this, the debate is exploding worldwide. The drama, the mystery, the carefully hidden details. It's the kind of story that fuels headlines for years to come. And now she's trapped, because the more she denies it, the more suspicious it looks. Every public statement, every silent pause only adds fuel to the fire of doubt.
Meghan is living a life that she's winning and she's doing all these great things, but the reality is not that. The reality is she's a joke.
The tighter she tries to control the narrative, the bigger the cracks in her story appear. Here's where things get legally messy. If Meghan lied about her age on official documents, marriage certificates, legal contracts, royal records, that's technically fraud. And under British law, fraud can be grounds for annulment. That's not just theory, it's serious. Tom Bower spoke to multiple legal experts for his book, and they all agreed. If false information was given on marriage documents, the union could potentially be invalidated. That doesn't mean it will happen, but the possibility alone is explosive. Why is this so critical?
But what they need to do is face up to the blackmail that's coming from California and in some way or other undermine Harry's and Meghan's credibility.
Because if the marriage were annulled, the offspring's titles could be questioned. The line of succession would get messy. The entire legal framework that supports royal privileges could collapse, and it doesn't stop there. Bower also pointed out that if Meghan provided false information to Netflix, Spotify, or any business partners about her biographical details, those contracts could be challenged or even voided. She could face lawsuits, financial penalties, and massive reputational fallout. And according to Bower, that's exactly why she's desperate to keep this quiet. This isn't just embarrassment, it's potentially catastrophic. Now we reach the most explosive layer of Bower's investigation.
Professionally, they've gone down dramatically, and I predicted it in the book, but even I would not have thought it'd be that accelerated. I think personally, I think they've separated their professional lives, but I think what's really a great problem for them now, as of in the last few weeks, is that Meghan has got no real income anymore. She's finished.
Right.
The Netflix series is over. There's no great podcast. They don't generate any money. And I don't see where she is going from.
For years, rumors have circulated that Meghan may have an older daughter from a previous relationship, a daughter who would now be in her 30s. Bower doesn't confirm this in his book, but he also doesn't deny it. What he does highlight are unexplained gaps in Meghan's timeline. If she was born in 1973 or 1975 instead of 1981, those gaps start to make sense. She would have been in her early 20s in the mid-1990s, old enough to have had her own family. Is there concrete proof? Not definitive, but whispers and rumors persist. People claim to know details but won't go on record. And Bower's book has reignited all these questions because if Meghan lied about her age, what else could she be hiding? At the end of his book, Tom Bower doesn't explicitly reveal Meghan's real age. Instead, he lays out all the evidence and lets readers decide for themselves. But his conclusion is undeniable. Meghan Markle has been dishonest about fundamental aspects of her biography. And according to Bower, this dishonesty extends far beyond age. It touches her education, her family, previous relationships, and even her motives for marrying Prince Harry.
And so he became hypersensitive and blamed the media for the crashes of his relationships, never thinking that they could have something to do with himself. So he's a very complicated, depressed, unintelligent man who is seeking a role and has got really nobody on whom he could rely, which is in the end where Meghan stepped in. I mean, a needy man met a woman who could help him with his need.
In Bower's view, Meghan is a carefully constructed persona, a public figure whose life is crafted more like a performance than reality. She's not the victim she claims to be. She's not the humanitarian the media portrays. She isn't even the age she says she is. Her greatest role has been playing Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, but the performance is crumbling. The cracks are visible, and thanks to investigators like Tom Bower, the truth is finally surfacing. So is Meghan really 44, or is she 48, 50, maybe even 52? The evidence Bower presents doesn't match the story she's told for years, and until Meghan releases her official birth certificate, the questions won't stop. The truth always finds a way to surface. If you want more explosive royal investigations like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Don't forget to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Crown Clash. Every day I break down a brand new royal scandal that the tabloids won't touch. Stay tuned because the drama is far from over.